Hello everyone, and thank you for tuning in again. We are going to be carrying on with PHP Online this evening. So, what are we going to do? So last time we worked mostly on some back-end stuff, so we were looking at what we could do to import podcasts. Something really simple, nothing too taxing. And we got so far with it, but without knowing a full spec, we weren't sure what we were going to do. So this time what we're going to do, we're going to build up some of the UI with Livewire. We're going to write some tests around that using PHP as well, and we're going to try and hook into our existing backend functionality which we wrote last time. So let's get started. So the first thing we need to do is actually install Livewire, obviously, because it's not been installed yet. So PHP Online, let's just include some Livewire. Let's make sure we got these assets all installed. So if we come down to our resources, views, layouts, we're going to get an app. There's our styles. These are tags in it makes no difference, does it? And right down at the bottom, we're going to add those Livewire scripts as well. And that's it. We don't need to publish for config, but what we are going to want to do is install our Alpine Js as well. So let's go have a look at what our JavaScript is currently like. It's got Alpine start requiring Bootstrap, which has got Lodash and Axios pre-installed. So all I'm going to do is, hey Ben, how you doing, buddy? We're going to remove that because I don't actually want Lodash. So let's remove that. And we're just going to quickly yarn to install everything. Hey Jack. Get all of this installed. Let's make sure our CSS is all in there. Yep. Tailwind all good. That's all good. And that'll be all good. Evening, Michael. Evening. So while that's installing, what we can start thinking about is this has got Laravel Breeze pre-installed. So if I just run, make sure we're migrated. Ooh. Make fresh. No. We're good. Cool. So that's everything uploaded. Evening, Nathan. So now if I just I don't want to have to keep doing that myself, so I'm just going to quickly add something to the seeder. And all I want to do is create a new user. Where the name is me, the email is mine, and the password should be password by default if I go look at the factory. Yeah, password. I haven't done anything with these yet, but it's not the end of the world. So what I can do now is I can just say make seed, and we're good. We should be able to log in now. Ooh. Something's going on there. Let's have a look at that in a minute. And we are on the dashboard. So why is this complaining to start with? Why is it complaining? Failed to load app CSS. Okay. Yarn run dev. Watch. You're gonna run watch. And now we're good. We got a dashboard and we're good. That's all we need. So to start with, when we're logged in, what we're going to do is we're going to want like a list of our feeds, for example. So let's just go down to the application UI and just find a list. Stacked layouts, no. Card headings, I don't really want that. Description lists, tables, stacked list. What information are we saving again on this part? So let's go have a look. So on our model for our feed, we've got link, description, language, copyright. We've got a fair little bit of information there. So to me, that might look nicer in a card, if I can find the right sort of card. This one. So let's just grab these. So what we want is this, so we can just copy that element. What we're going to do is, if we just go to the dashboard itself, or what I'll do, sorry, before that is just come have a look at this. Let's clean this up. Swap this to welcome. There's dashboard auth, there's some require auth. So what we want to do is we want to have our login routes. So we're going to have some middleware of auth, and that's it for now. We'll just group all of those. So now I can do a simple route view because I don't actually need much else. I can just go dashboard, and we want that name to be dashboard, which means I can just drop that out the way. We're going to move those up there. So what we've got our main dashboard is just a view. You know, we're not loading anything from the back end. That'll be what Livewire is going to be doing. So we just use a view for this. You know, we don't have to load a controller or pass in a closure. Just do it as it is. And as you can see, it still works. So what I'm going to do, just to keep a track on it, is we are going to Laravel debug bar, and we're good. And we got a debug bar. We've got no Livewire components at the minute. We've got one model, which is a current active user, and only one query running. So far we're doing pretty good. So what I want this to be is just where it says logged in, it's just going to show a list of your feeds. It's nothing exciting. It's nothing mental. So let's just get started. So PHP artisan make Livewire? I can't remember. Yeah. So what we're going to have is make Livewire feed and feed list. That's probably about right. Yeah. No, and we're good. So if we come down to our resource views, down to our dashboard here, where it's saying you're logged in, this part here, this is what I want to be replacing. So I can say Livewire, and I can replace that with feeds dot feed dash list. So let's see what happens. Perfect. So now if we go to actually look at that view, down in Livewire feeds, feed list, if I just uncomment that, it's going to start showing. So what I can do now is I can just grab that component which I have lost from my clipboard, copy that element, and we'll just drop that in there, reformat it quickly, and refresh. So there we go. Look, we got it. One thing I do think we need to do is add like a heading maybe. So what we need to do is look at wrapping that in like a card like this. One with an action button I think might be best, or this one here. So let's just inspect this and just grab it. This one. I'm going to copy that element. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to put that in the dashboard for now. It might change. So if we do that, let's just go back to here and let's see how we're working. Perfect. So what we can do is this bit here, this Livewire part, this Livewire component that we're going to be using. We can grab this UL because we know we don't want that in there. We definitely know we don't want any of that in there. We just drop that in there. So now if we refresh, bang, we're in. However, one thing I do want to make sure that we do is reduce that padding so that it's this bit here. Maybe we just want this. Ooh. Right, let's go have a look. Wrong way. Here we go, that's lining up nicely now. Evening wife. So there we go, what we're going to do, we're going to get a list of all of the feeds that user has registered and just show them on here. So to start with, we're going to go for that. So let's just drop all of that for now because we don't need to go into too much detail yet. So we can go down to HTTP Livewire feeds feed list. So render view, that is going to return a view. So let's just pop in our type hinting, import illuminate view. There we go. And what we probably want to do for the mount is just say that this feeds equals feed query where user ID is the auth ID get. So up here we can say public eloquent collection feeds. Nothing breaking at the moment, so we're doing pretty well. So then if we come down to here, let's just give ourselves some space. We're going to grab all of these LIs and we're just going to delete them so we can loop them. Hey buddy, I'm good, how are you? So let's just do a little bit of tidy up here. And then grab this LI, this is going to be all the way back here. So here we will want a for else feed as then we're going to have empty and for else. So then this bit here, what we can do, we can drop that in, grab this and drop that in again. This P can come in, so can this one. Drop that in, and there we go. We start to format it a little bit. Here's our SVG. Well, that can go in, that path can go in. Here's our p tag, that can come back a level. Drop that down. I'm glad it's helping you. Really glad it's helping you. That's kind of why I do it, so it is good to hear. Very good to hear. Right, let's just drop that into, and what I'm going to do, I'm just going to collapse that a little bit. No, I'm not going to worry too much about some of these because I'm not actually going to use all of them. So I'm just going to wing it. Wing it a little bit. Nothing wrong with winging it. There we go. Right. Cool. So now I can come back to here and I'm going to look for empty states with a border, listing things, adding team members. Probably something like this will be fine. So I can grab that and we can create a new component. We'll create a quick blade component. So I'm going to create a new directory called UI, and I'm going to create a new file in here called empty state.blade.php, and this is going to take a couple of arguments. I'm probably going to drop the button. Put message there, and we'll put heading at the top. So in our feed list down here, what we can do is still have an li, but instead we can have x-ui.empty state heading can be something like no feeds, and message can be add your RSS feed to see it here. Something like that. Bang, and there we go. So what I probably want to do is on this one, I just want to put a little bit of padding so it kind of doesn't get squashed. So there we go. And then up here where it's saying job postings, that is on the dashboard. Your feeds. Below is a list of the RSS feeds that you have told us about. Yeah, no, Livewire is amazing. I really do enjoy Livewire. Let me just come over to here. If I create a new job, I'm not too worried about right now. We'll look at that in a sec. So what we want, when we click that, we want to kind of trigger a modal. And I don't know if we've got modals in Livewire yet. There is one. There is one. I really love Livewire compared to JavaScript. For something like this, it's perfect. If it's a really in-depth application, then you can be a little bit better off going with like something like Inertia. But for this, perfect. I'm just going to go check messages because I was speaking to his name and I can't remember how to spell it exactly. Where's he gone? Begins with an F. Begins with an F. I know that much. No, it begins with a P. Right. Wire elements. That's what he's called it. Hey, Matteo or Matthew from Sheffield. Right, this, by the way, is absolutely fantastic. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to let this install in the background while I explain it. No real performance hits that I've noticed, but you know, it does make requests a lot to the back end. But once your page is loaded, it's loaded. It's there, and then you've just got kind of components that transport data to and from the back end. Yeah, I forgot what it was called, Nathan. But it's pretty cool. Okay, so let me go add this directive to the layout on app. Got Alpine already, got that already. So make a Livewire, and you can make it like a modal component. That's pretty cool. So let's see what we can do. Let's close all this down and let's focus on that for a second. Hey, Marcel and Samuel and Matthias, Vienna. Lovely. Getting people from everywhere today. So let's PHP artisan make Livewire. We're going to go feeds and create a feed modal. Like that. So if I come up to my feed modal, what we need this to do is to extend the modal component. There we go, which means I don't need that, and I can declare my strict types there. This is a view, and we're good. Yeah, no, it's really cool. Oh, okay, so open modal, edit user. Okay, so let's go back to the dashboard a second, and let's see what happens. Resources. So I've not done front end for a while. Here we go. Great job. So what it's saying we need to do is just an on click, open modal, and we are going to go to the modal is feeds dot feed dash modal. So if I just quickly add a little bit of content to that feed modal, come back to here, what do I need to do? Let's see if there's any errors happening. No. Okay, so what do I need to do? When we mount, oh, you can pass data to it, that's cool. It's a modal component. Let's make sure it's all in the correct place. Feeds, feed modal, feeds, feed modal. So if we look at this feed modal, we should have things that it's listening to. How do we do the view for this? Do we have to do anything specific? Configuration. Is it emit? I shouldn't need the Livewire part, should I? Livewire, what's happening? So events. From the template, from the component. So I should be able to go wire click, right? It might not be a component, but it should still be listening. Let's go have a look. Yeah, nothing's happening there. It's quite strange. Let's clear those. Nothing is currently happening. So let's go have a look. What's it saying? So install it by that. Add that to your template. Alpine, yeah, that's fine. Creating a modal. Yep. Make Livewire. Open a modal. Outside of an existing. Okay, so it's because it's outside the existing component. So that does have to be an on click. It shouldn't be. Pretty strange. Pretty strange. Aha. Yeah, I'm extending the modal component. Let me have a look, see what it's saying to do. Oh, wait a minute. There we go, we got it. Got there in the end. Right, let's have a look. So when we want to create a new job, or, well, not create a new job, but import new feed. That is going to give us a form. So let's go grab some form stylings. Let's just grab a modal one. Got any forms in the modal? Nope. Slide over notifications, containers, panels. Form layout. I'm just gonna grab that. So what I want is something really clean, really simple. I'm a big fan of this style. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to inspect, I'm just going to grab this, stick it all in the modal. Copy that element, come over to the feed modal. So when we refresh and when we go like that, bang. So the only thing that's going to have a problem with is this max width malarkey. So let's just drop that and see what happens. Okay, so closing a child, modal properties, skipping modals. Modal max width 2XL. Okay, so let's just drop all of that. It's got its own styles to add some padding magic in. Is there a way I can make that a larger modal? Max widths. Force close, skip modals. skip previous false close, close modal, modal max width. I can return one. So on here, what I can do is I can do something like static max widths to XL. Or I could just return to XL. Let's have a look, see what's going on. Show, close modal. Here's the modal itself. Transitions, lots of transitions. Bind class modal width. Weird. We'll play with it. Might just have to play around with how the form's being displayed. So let's get form layouts. Instead of going that route, we're just going to go for a basic one over another stacked. Copy element. 7XL to be sure. Okay, we'll give it a go. Yeah, it's saying no thank you. Right, so let's just grab that and okay, we're getting that. I don't like how squished that is. It's got to be a nice way to kind of override that, right? Right, so I'm going to add some padding that side of 4, and we're going to add some padding above and beyond, like that. There we go. So going to just not add everything we want. We just want it to be simples, right? So username, get rid of that. About, get rid of that. Photo, gonna get rid of that. Cover photo. Let's get rid of that. And then we can just grab some of this. Here we go. Keep that in there, and what we want is padding top 8, padding top 8. Let's just remove those for now. Import a new feed. Great. So this is going to be a 6 because we want it full width. Excellent. So what we're going to have is the web URL in here. Don't want to autocomplete it. Website URL. Awesome. So what we can do is maybe add a button underneath, like this. So we can say check the type button, check for feed, and then we can do wire submit.prevent. Oh, it's wire click, isn't it? Discover feed. Excellent. So over here, what we can do is let's just drop that. Public function discover feed. We need a couple of things. So public, need a boolean, and this is going to be has feed. We're going to start with false. We're also going to need a string for URL. We're going to start out as an empty string. So when we discover the feed, we want to grab the service and say, actually, can we override the constructor in any way? Extends component. Let's have a look. That's what I can find so far. So while that's doing that, what we also want it to do is also get the feed service Okay, that's not working. Okay. Ooh, do I? Okay, so excellent. So I can say feed, or what I kind of need to do here, I need to kind of validate. So I want to validate. God, I haven't used Livewire in quite a while now. It has been a while. Let's go validation. So I can just quickly say this validate. I'm going to drop the rules in. So what we need for the URL, we need that is required, must be a string, and I'm pretty sure There is a URL rule down here. Must be a valid URL. Perfect. So I can say URL. So we validate, and that is probably going to fail at this point. So let's have a quick look. Okay, so I should be doing it on the mount. Oh, wait a minute. Am I not getting this already? No, I'm not, am I? Okay, so let's go to so we should be able to put this in here, yeah? And when we say this service equals service, can I add a... We're going to complain about that. And it's missing that, but it's going to complain if I add that, isn't it? Unresolved dependency. No, I know exactly what I've done wrong. Okay, I don't actually want to do it that way. What I need to do is to start off by validating. Once I've validated and I know I've got a URL, I want to say that my service is a new feed service, and the URL for that is this URL. And I want to discover, and that, I believe, returns a feed set. Yeah. So I'll just go RSS like that, and we're going to say this feed equals that. So up here I can say let's have a look. Let's see if this is going to work. That is a string, isn't it? Yeah. And that means I can say this has feed is true. Eventually I'm going to tidy all of this up. So that will fail. If I go to my website, because I know I've got one, what I can do is let's close some of this down, feed modal, check for feed. Only show the save button if we have a feed, and we can say import feed. we got going on? Okay, let's have a look. What's happened? Do we want to do it this way? Wire model. That's it. Thank you very much. It's been a while. It has been a while. I'm going to watch the network now. Import that one. And then submit. Perfect. So this form, I can just do a wire submit.prevent, and what we'll do is we'll just add that to the submit. So down here we can add that. Public function submit. Then we can dispatch a job to fetch a feed. Close Modal. Something very simple. So, dispatching a job. How do we want to dispatch the job? Okay. Make job feeds import feed. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking there. Add that lazy to it as well, because otherwise it's gonna just constantly trigger, isn't it? We only care about it after the fact. We can import feed and we can dispatch. What we will do is we are just going to pass through this URL. No, this feed. Check for feed. Import. Nothing happened. So how do I close? Something simple like that. This close Modal. Awesome. So I'm curious to know if, let me grab that because I'm going to want it. What I'm going to do also as another extra bit of UI is this check for feed here is if there's no has feed, that's the only time we're going to display it, so we're not constantly just triggering it. There we go, we got it that time. So now I can click import feed and that closes. If I do that, it's gone. Perfect. So I've got a job now in the background that I can now work with. So this job, what I need it to do is go to URL. Then when we handle this, we're not going to import anything. What we're going to do is we are going to go service equals feed service, new feed service, and the URL for that is going to be this URL. Service get RSS feed, cool, and that is going to do all of that. So what I actually need to do, actually pass the URL, but what I'm also going to do is pass through the user ID so we know who we can attach it to. And pass that as auth ID. So what can I do? What can I do? Getting the feed links. I can get the feed itself, so I can fetch that. There we go, so that's going to give us a feed, and then we can just say, give me the items. Shouldn't need to fetch, should I? Cheers, Matteo. I'm trying to figure out what I am doing. I wrote all of it last time without really thinking about it, without planning, so now I think I'm paying that price. So we're going to get the RSS feed, and that's going to be a string that comes back from there. Or, no, that's a value object. Awesome, that's actually going to give me the RSS feed itself. Perfect. So now I've got that feed. Let me look down at some of the code that I wrote last time. We can dispatch an action for add new feed, or just add that new feed. We're going to handle that. The object that we want to pass it is the feed itself. So if I just leave it at that for now, that should do what I need it to. Check for the feed. And that's going on in the background. Is there a way I can see the jobs going on in the background, I wonder? What have I configured my jobs to do? Queue driver, sync. Just go to there. So PHP artisan queue work. Have I got anything going on? Or is it queue watch that I can run? Queue monitor or queue listen? Let's go have a look, see which one it is I need. So queue listen, listen to a given queue, monitor. Yeah, queue listen. Let's listen to that queue again. So import a new feed, https, just steveking.uk. Have we got a feed? Yes, we do. So we can import. I'm trying to make sure that the job's actually being ran. That's the main thing right now. Maybe I should just swap that to Redis or something. Pretty sure I've got Redis running anyway. This is something I need to check the user experience on. Find something kind of that's nice. Oh, class Redis not found. Thank you very much. There's something you've got to do to databases, I believe. So let's go double check those docs. Database Redis. Here we go. No, not PHP Redis. Is it PHP Redis or is it a different one? I can't remember. Redis. Redis, that's what it's looking for. So let's come back to our terminal. Come to that. PHP artisan queue work, because we need to actually run our queue worker. Nothing's complaining, so we can check with the feed and import. Still class Redis not found. You found your way back. Let me go have a look. Cache. Let's go have a look at cache. So, there's memcache, Redis. Got that installed. Make sure I don't have to do anything. I could pick database for ease, but I'm trying not to do it easy. I'm trying to do it right. You know, I'm just going to have to, aren't I? That's migrated. env, key connection, database. So now I can PHP artisan queue work. Let's see what happens. Get this working, then I can actually see what's happening. Processed, import feed. So now if I refresh, still none. Okay, I believe that is a me issue though, so I can come back to import feed. If we add new feed objects to array. So that object itself, I'm not actually passing through the user ID, am I? So I need to add a public int auth ID. But we're going to start that with a null int, set it to null. This auth ID. So when we're creating that, in our modal, discover so we've got service, got our feed, got our RSS. So when we dispatch it, all we've got at this point is don't want to fetch feed. We can add an optional parameter. For the so there's all of that. That's going to pass through to there. That is optional to feed. Some of this needs refactoring anyway. So that should then pass that through to the value object. So I'm going to get the value object here. Get RSS feed, the auth ID is this auth ID. We'll default that to null though, so it's not a requirement, so our tests don't fail. And to make sure that's still the case, for our tests, make sure we're all looking happy. Apparently it doesn't want to run. Come back to that. Ooh, what's going on? Been logged out. Close that off. Make fresh and make seed. So if I log in, haven't got anything here. Go to import my feed, and I can go just steveking.uk, check my feed, make sure I've got one. Okay, I need to look at how I fix that. That's taking a bit long. And we've got one. Cool. So what we kind of want to do on, let's close all of those for now. What we kind of want to do on this Livewire part here for our resources, we want to do some sort of polling. So we come back to docs, polling, and we want to wire poll a specific action on here. And we're going to poll on fetch feeds. What I can do is I can just move this down to here, and when we mount we can just say this fetch feeds. So we'll go try and add another one. See if Lava News has one. I'm pretty sure it does. Watch for terminal. Ran. Is it actually polling though? That's frustrating. Do I have to add like a specific time? Do I have to do that inside? No, have to be inside the component. I think that might be the case. So let's go check feed list. I'm assuming it might have to be in there to actually access it. Yeah, it's going. So let's just remove that bit. And we'll make fresh, make seed, PHP artisan queue work. Have to log back in, obviously. Right, add my feed again. We got one. So now if I import, that's being processed. It is now in, and it's there. Hey! Excellente. So, polling in the background. Stuff I can polish up. So, test it again. Have our news. Import feed. And there it is. So what I want to do is here we've got the feed title. Got the link, got the description, got the language. Oh, so where it says remote, I can actually put the language. That could be cool. Feed language. Feed language. Say whether it's approved or not, I suppose. Where do we want that though? On engineering, we'll drop that. We only want one thing down there. Closing on. Awesome, we are getting there. And what we can do is just replace green with perfect. So that is that added. So the main thing I want to do now is look at testing. Hour and 15 minutes in. Let's get the testing aspect to it. So create post test, acting as a user, Livewire test set call, something. So let's just close all of those tabs. now to our tests. Feature domains. These are app tests. So what we want to do is maybe group these like Livewire and create a new what could we call this? Feed import test. So feed list. So it can show a list of feeds. First off, we want to auth log in using ID, user, factory, create ID. So we've got someone logged in now. What we want to do is we're going to test the test that. We're going to set okay, this is what I want it to do. So Tom, the plan for PHP Online is it's going to be just a knowledge sharing platform basically. So you can connect your blog as I'm trying to do at the moment. So I will just start pulling in your blog articles for you to approve or not approve, because you're not going to want all of them in. So you just automatically start pulling them in. Then when you can log on, you can go, right, okay, I want those ones shown on my profile. They start showing, and then it's going to expand from that, and it's going to be writing articles, pulling in podcast information, pulling in lots of stuff from around the PHP community basically, as a kind of a real central hub to allow people to, here's a great article, here's a great podcast, here's some cool stuff on YouTube, or here's a really cool package, all indexed with like Algolia so it can be searched, but also start signposting new people in the PHP community to resources that are available to them. They might discover your blog because they've seen it on there, or they might discover someone new to watch on YouTube, or a podcast to tune into, or a great new package they can pull in. So that's the idea. Just a place where new and old developers can both come in and actually just use it, I suppose. That's about it. Hey Dan. So I'm wondering, I can show a list of feeds. Pest has a plugin for Livewire. Does it? What does it do? What is the purpose of that? Oh, I can Livewire. Call. That's kind of cool. I don't need it for this, though, I don't think. I'm not using the expectation API yet. I'm not quite there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go feeds equals feed factory we're going to create, what, 10 of them. And I'm going to pass in the user ID as the auth ID. Yeah, it's something I've been toying with for quite a long time, so it's something I've really wanted to do. So, can I like assert count the name and the value 10? Is that how that works? Let's test it. So now tests. 5 failed. Okay. Why are we failing? Can I add or update child rate functions with feeds? Okay, something up with that factory. Did I rush something? No, I don't think I did. Okay. Oh wait. Feed actions test, that's where it's probably going to be dying. So it is dying on it can create a new feed from a feed value object. So what we actually need here is authenticated ID is the user ID. Now that could still fail. I don't think it's got the boot up the test case attached to unit test, but we'll see. One failed. Cool. Cannot bind property feed without a validation rule present in the rules array on Livewire component. Feed list. That's not what I wanted to do then. Let's try that. And we're good. Okay, so I just want to make sure, yeah, I can get 10. That's fine. That works. I don't actually have to do anything there. That is awesome. So what else can I do? It can show a list of feeds. I am on the list page. So all I can really test for that one. So let's have a look at the feed modal. Feed modal test. So with this one, it can set the URL. Livewire. I'm going to test the feed modal class. We want to set the URL to be and when we set that, we want to call Discover feed. Let's test that. Is that how it works? Okay, I don't want assert C, I want I don't want to do any sort of like okay. So we'll just set that. Then we want to call discover feed. Let's just run through it and see what it does. So up here we want to expect feed count to equal 0. So evening, how's everyone doing? So let's go look at this. We want to fake the bus, don't we? So we don't actually want to do anything here. So at the top we're just going to do that. Make sure I got that right. That is going to be the facade bus. Yep. So let's just do that. And then what we can do, we can assert what's my job called? Import feed. Let's make sure that that's actually dispatched. So it has no errors. Another good one. Ooh, okay, so what are we failing? Okay, so what am I calling? What am I calling? Discover feed. And then, after we've done that, we want to call submit. Now run the tests. Now we're good. Awesome. So we know that that is being dispatched. So what other bits could we do? Cert has no errors. I'm really not used to Livewire testing. I've just been away from Livewire for so long, working with inertia, that it's taken me a little bit of time to get used to it again. Ooh. Cool. Okay, so can set the URL and dispatch a job to import the feed. So that's pretty good. Let's go see what we can do about the job though. So facade spies, yeah, fine. Job chains, job batches. Queues. Right. That's looking good. That was a very good point there, Adrian. Thank you. Make sure the tests are running in the correct order. That is definitely important. So what's the best way to test these? I've not done it enough. Testing, mocking. Qfake. And make sure something's pushed on the job. That's all passing. So what I'm going to do is app. For the queue, I'm just going to go feeds import. For the feeds jobs, I'm going to say new import feed test. So, how long have I got? Not too long. I'm going to try and cut it a little bit short today so I can eat at a reasonable time. So, it dispatches the job and imports the feed. Something simple, I guess, in naming. So we're going to need a user. And we're going to need a URL. So we're going to grab just, I'll use mine. Right, so we can create a new one by saying that the job is a new import feed that is going to have URL argument. And the auth ID is user ID. So job handle. Before we handle that, what we need to do, we need to say we are expecting the feed count to equal 0. After we've handled that, we are expecting it to equal 1. Let's have a look. We'll actually hit it. There we go. It works. I mean, I don't know if there's anything I can do for mocking that. Queue fake, notification fake, mail fakes, event fakes, job chains. That's not it either. I'm not sure how I can do this yet. Handling the job. Because I'm using Laminas client, so I can't really just do HTTP fake. I could refactor it, I suppose, later down the line. Right. So when it happens, we expect that. Don't really need the URL. Don't need that. So I can just do that. I think I need to think about it a little bit more. The important thing is that I can import feeds. I've got a couple of tests around it. Ooh. Oops. There's a Laminas feed coming from DI. That is a good question. Let me go back and double check on the service. No, I'm using the reader class directly, so it's calling the client internally. So I'm not sure if there's a way I can override anything right now. So basically my feed service, all it does, we pass it a URL. We discover any feeds on that URL. Then we fetch a feed. We can turn a feed into a value object. We can get an RSS feed directly. We can pass all of the items within a feed as well. I'm not too worried about it right now. There's other things that I'd rather focus on this very moment, if I'm honest. So, what we got? Let's make sure I can actually see it. There we go. So we got a feed showing. What I need to do, I just need to style that slightly differently. So we're going to come down to our Livewire feed list. Is that language? Is that what I'm looking at there? Yes, it is. So don't really want a margin left. That's good. So we've got that there. We don't really want anything closing on because that's not correct. We could do something like added. Oh nice, it's actually doing counts. That's kind of cool. Drop the SVG because it's kind of not needed. Not approved. Here's a language. There's that. So we can click it and we could go view the actual information for that feed as well if we really wanted to. So let's just go add a new route quickly while we're here. What we can do is route group. I never do group that way. We're going to do prefix of app, maybe as app, and we're going to group naming conventions. Right, so this is inside our app, so now we can say app feeds as feeds. Group that one in there too. You can say root get feed UUID name show. Then we just need to add in app HTTP controllers app feeds to controller. Let's disconnect quick. So now I can artisan make a controller and say app feeds show controller. That's going to be invocable. So down here on the A, we can root app feeds show feed UID. What did I miss? Oh dear. Controllers. Okay, we'll just have to call it admin instead. Backend? Yeah, backend. Backend's a bit of an admin. Right. Controllers, backend feeds. I want to extend that. Drop that. Drop that. Go to request. And we're there. So this is also going to receive a feed load items, turn view done. Backend new feeds show.play.php got the app layout. We're going to grab that header up here. What we're going to say here instead, showing feed title. Card stuff. What could I stick in there? Grab one of these, detail screen. Rear. No, I can't call it that. That would be cool, but it's just not what I need. So I'm gonna leave it there. I'm gonna leave it there for the night. I think I've got it loaded. I can go to the dashboard, can import another feed if I want to. laravelnews.com. Oops. Need to fix that. Check for feed. Import the feed. Then in the background, we can say make PHP artisan queue work. That is running at the moment. It should appear in a second, and now we've got Laravel Needs available, and we're good. That works. I'm happy with that. Next week, I might not be streaming much next week with Laracon. I want to make sure I've got plenty of preparation for Laracon next week. Need to do a few more trial runs, so I might not stream next week. I apologise in advance, but I will be giving a talk instead. And the week after that, I think I'm giving a talk for Leeds PHP too. But thank you for coming. That was a bit of fun with Livewire, refreshed my memory a little bit, playing with some of the testing and just kind of seeing how our back-end services was working so we could kind of get an idea of how we can go forward. So, thank you, basically. Yeah, I look forward to next time. Like, comment, subscribe, the usual stuff. There's Discord link in the description. Feel free to join, feel free to ask questions, give feedback. Maybe you want to volunteer as Tribune and join me on the stream sometime. Either way, join, have a chat, see how we go. Thank you all for coming. I'm going to spend some time with my wife and eat something because I am absolutely starved. So thank you very much. And I suppose good night. Thank you.